century, the French poet disappeared to South America, never to be seen again. He wrote,
"Literature is to be made by all, not one."
The French surrealists who did ideas with us, they wrote and created together.
Like surrealists, we believe that literature is bigger than one writer.
Art is bigger than an artist. One night, on the bridge, you gave me your feather. You said it was the color of the word I forgot, the shape of a song I once used to sing. You dipped it in fire, you planted it under my skin.
It wasn't a red feather I gave you. It was the wing of the invisible bird. Have you seen her? I saw it in the old hat store. The bird was perched on the nail between an old hunter hat and a mirror, and it gave it me her wing. And I asked her, "What is your name?" And the bird looked at me. Her face is white, blind, ageless, her mouth so pretty, and she said, "Firebird, and also Syrian, and also Albinos." So I asked her, "How many names do you have?" And the bird said, "Many and none. Many as winds, and none because they only give us the names, told us. No need for fire."
In bird language, real things have no name. The feather you gave me still throbs in my veins. I remember the words I forgot, all the names. And hug the chandelier to keep up the appearance. Invisible, I float from room to room, deciphering encrypted meaning in the smiles, the winks, the fluttering of lashes, but see their heads filled up with bumblebees, their veins pulsing like horny octopi, their stomachs tense as frantic wildebeest, forever doubting when the water started rising, and never sure if I will drown with my next breath. I track the years to look up days when things were normal. I trace the steps inside my head and see the sun nodding approval as I skip with both feet on the grass, where leaves and petals don't betray their colors. The dive was hard, the green spilled out as seaweed, when frazzled stars had settled on the bottom of my eyes. Freedom lay motionless inside a pile of debris. Black bug eternity had always rested on the pavement. The water had been surging since the day I didn't look. People had been glued to ceilings since I started breathing. Goldfish, goldfish, you're my kid. Waltzed into infinity along your boulevards that only know how to descend. Find me those who speak my language and resuscitate my dreams.
you tried one on, it would feel great, it would look great, it would feel fantastic. Then something would always happen. Sometimes the hat would turn into a flying hat. Sometimes it would turn into a ship and sail away. Sometimes it would disappear from under her hand. But there was always a new hat on the hanger. Yes, maybe she was a hat. Yes, maybe she didn't have a hat. All that existed was some fur, felt, feathers. Inside, there was nothing. Darkness, dust, death. Maybe that was because her great-grandmother owned a hat store. Or maybe life is nothing but a giant hat store. Or maybe life is just a hat on the old hanger. Or maybe there is no hallway, no hanger, no hat, nothing.
My beauty in a muddy pond, swimming around in circles. I lured you with a crystal bead. I hooked you with a promise. You splished, you splashed, then pulled me down. The line unbreakable, and I held on. The lake became a landslide, a fairy tale as sharp as steel, fished up, dropped on the carpet, blood in my throat, my lips torn up, a desert virgin in my entrails. The hook had nestled in my heart. My beauty's face covered with bruises, branded by wishes I could not fulfill, the slow asphyxiation of a dream made real.
In the blue cabbage rose orchard, I found a chest with hidden treasures. Dreams penciled in rushed cursive, poems about porcupines, poison and dancing goddesses, and your eyes. I read the letter. It smelled like old legends and songs, sails and masts, all the Oriental opium dance. It said, "You are for me." And I knew it was true. And I also knew that castles are never real, and words are rarely true, and roads are long and dusty. So I turned into a fish, and I swam oceans and seas with your eyes under my fins, your eyes in my eyes. And when you fished me out of the water, I fit your eyes to the sadness underneath your eyebrows. I have survived 1,000 storms, to wake up on your carpet, bruised, but never as alive. Everything in me is breathing, air, life, you. Not a voiceless fish anymore in the darkness of the ocean, but my own soul with a face and voice.
My book, a triangle of water. The pages scintillate with blue, an ocean in the desert, infinity between four walls, a chest that bores a river, the sea fused with the sun. My beauty's face is poetry, your eyes the source, where life begins, where poets drown. whitewashed walls and crimson curtains, like a fairy tale, but happy. All the walls have been impaled on cactus spikes. Perhaps there is a skeleton under your bed that speaks in verse and tells you secrets. Maybe the desert sings at night, or maybe it builds words from silence.
I saw a skeleton today made of straw in a scarlet scarf, but it wasn't scary. Nothing is really scary here. Everything is a little bit unreal, like a toy. But I did see two men in dark blue walking with rifles, and gloomy policemen are everywhere doing the painted silver roses and balloons, green, orange, blue. There are no desert here, but there are mountains. I haven't seen them yet. All I have seen so far are the long empty streets with shadows and delicate yards. And then I look at the window, there are tiles of cobblestones, and I hear the hills on them, the dogs are barking, and then it's quiet. And I see the curtains, they are all dark brick and crimson. Quiet. Yellowish light in the kitchen cabinet, greenish pitcher glasses, and I'm writing. I'm writing to you. I'm saying it. Quiet.
Between the silver roses and the pink balloons, gloomy policemen look like dolls, heels flicking uneven through those courtyards, dancing a syncopated rhythm, sidestepping the wolves, moving with the cobblestone, or rather, with the cracks between them. I can see it like a movie, just the heels sticking the tile, a metronome beating the rhythm to reality.
Querétaro!
From the hills,
Querétaro!
bell tolls,
Echo rolls
drum beats,
into my marrow.
narrow, so narrow,
Run these
streets,
weeds into poetry.
pour into poetry,
Bridges
and bridges between. Querétaro,
grow the wall.
Querétaro,
Grown the stone.
a grain of dust
Where's the
waits as silence rustles falls.
In Querétaro, I live at the corner of Independencia and Libertad. Birds sing every morning, bells toll at times. I lost my glasses at the corner in the cafe that was named after Andre Breton, who said Mexico was the most surreal country in the world. I got a new vision. Details are distracting. If you look past the little things, you see the big things, like that mountain behind the houses. There is a knitting shop at the corner. Old women knitting, needles dancing. Their faces old, bronze, eyes fixed at the wall, not at their knitting. Their fingers know how to weave. Their hands remember everything. Their patterns come from their hearts. Or maybe from the spirits that live on that big invisible mountain. They don't need. They became the knitting. I'm like them. I don't write. I became the writing.
Needles dancing, hands remember how to pour big things into small things. Bird song in the club, the mountain in the village, the ocean in a heart, the pattern of independencia, the threads of libertad, those beautiful bronze spiders weaving webs of memories. Their eyes are in their fingers, and as they knit the tapestry of life, they see.
Knit the bird
where the sky begins. They are blue as an orange, the color of the world. The sky you carry on your back, and as you walk, you fly.
I feel the sky piercing this room. The pain is sharp pleasure. I am a butterfly on the needle of the world.
I am a spider, crawling at the bottom of the needle, the underbelly of the world. And though I'm dark and blind, don't be afraid to fall. My web will catch you.
There are eyes everywhere, and ears for eyes, for you can hear me, and the same music that I hear. We both are nothing but this music.
We are the music. The words were always in the music. Like Pygmalion, we bring the mountains. Melody is the mountain, and the words are crystal gods that live inside. We know Olympus lives beneath our nails. One grain of sand can spawn 1,000 poems. One needle weaves 1,000,000 strands of music, soft as clouds, bright as the colors of our growing wings.
I feel this is how it all flies and dances and bleeds, caught on these invisible waves, caught in the currents and hooks of little black planets, black on white, so random, so meaningless. There's so plenty of them yet. They're so full of meaning, so heart-wrenching. Like a million electroshocks.
Without purpose,
Without goal.
without objects,
Objectives. An objective opinion.
just a flow of poetry.
Reaching the time space. Brancusi was obsessed with depicting the flight. He ended up sculpting a bird without the wings. Just a shiny piece of steel. That was his answer. The essence of the flight, the bird without the wings. I think this might be it. What do you think?
I think the music and the words were born out of the dance. Our broken bodies cannot catch the sunset or a bird in flight. To dance, we must restore it. To sing, we must learn